As reported earlier this month, the three musicians that make up St. Petersburg band Stop Time were arrested while performing banned songs by artists deemed foreign agents live on the streets of the city. The group's lead singer, Diana Loginova, who performs under the pseudonym Nako, has since been charged with 2 counts of discrediting the army. Novaya Gazeta media outlet says in various impromptu performances, Loginova and her band performed songs by 2 Russian artists living in exile, including rapper Noise MC's anti-war song Swan Lake Cooperative, the lyrics of which mock the propaganda narratives put out by the Kremlin at the start of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, and singer-songwriter Monetochka's song You Are a Soldier, one lyric of which goes, "And whatever war you are fighting, sorry, I'll be on the other side." Since Stop Time's arrest, there has been a wave of Russian protest TikToks with clips of people performing tracks by Monetochka and Noise MC going from views in the tens of thousands to over 1 million within days. Many of the TikToks feature artwork of Nako in handcuffs against a backdrop of doves, or footage of Loginova's arrest set to news clips about rapists and murderers being pardoned and sent to the front line. Some videos compare Loginova, who made a heart sign as she was being led through court, to slain opposition politician Alexei Navalny, who, in one now famous image, once made a heart sign from behind glass in a courtroom during one of his trials, Novaya Gazeta says. One TikTok shows a middle-aged man with a guitar singing You're a Soldier by Monetochka. To date, it has received over 500,000 views and approximately 95,000 likes. In another, a young woman performs Swan Lake Cooperative in an underpass while reading the lyrics of her phone, accompanied by a guitarist, as passers-by go about their business. Comments under the videos express support for Nako and condemn the Kremlin's latest repressive measure against artists. "This is my first revolution," wrote one commentator, adding, "I'm a little bit worried. Let's communicate via TikTok to be on the safe side," says Katya, who created an artwork in support of the group and whose video about the process has now received hundreds of thousands of views. She says that she's aware of the risk she's taking by posting protest videos and speaking to Novaya Europe, which the Russian authorities have effectively outlawed by declaring it an undesirable organization. Novaya Gazeta recalls, "I'm afraid of attracting attention, not so much for myself as for my relatives, but I believe we have to keep fighting whatever it takes." Katya says, adding that while predictable, Nako's arrest had aroused both anger and anxiety in her, especially as the charges are so absurd. The protests against the arrests have not been limited to TikTok. However, with musicians in some cities taking to the streets to perform the same songs for which Stop Time were arrested. In Russia's 4th largest city, Yekaterinburg, for example, one such singer, Yevgeny Mikhailov, was detained for using obscene language in a public performance of Swan Lake Cooperative he gave in support of Nako, for which he was imprisoned for 14 days.
An airline in Greece will start running direct flights from the European Union country to Baghdad before the end of the year, the Greek foreign minister announced Thursday during a visit to Iraq. According to Associated Press, Georgios Gerapatritis said that Greek air carrier Aegean Airlines will run its first flight from Athens to Baghdad on December 16. No other European airlines are currently running direct flights to the Iraqi capital. "I think this will substantially boost our people-to-people economic, but also cultural ties," Gerapatritis said at a news conference alongside his Iraqi counterpart. Aegean Airlines and a handful of other carriers already run direct flights from Europe to Erbil, the capital of Iraq's semi-autonomous Kurdish region in the north, but carriers had largely steered clear of Baghdad because of security concerns. After the fall of Iraq's longtime autocratic leader, Saddam Hussein, in a US-led invasion in 2003. The ensuing security vacuum spawned years of sectarian violence and the rise of armed extremist groups, including the Islamic State group. In the years since IS lost control of the territory that it once held in Iraq and neighboring Syria, the security situation has stabilized. Iraqi Foreign Minister Fuad Hussein, in a statement, welcomed the launch of direct flights, and said that the two countries are discussing cooperation in the fields of agriculture, investment, and tourism. He said that a series of recent visits to Iraq by European leaders reflect the stability the country is experiencing and its growing standing on the international stage. The two ministers discussed developments in Syria where interim authorities have taken charge after insurgents who unseated former President Bashar Assad in a lightning offensive last year. Jarapatritis and Hussein also discussed the Gaza Strip, where a fragile truce between Israel and Hamas is in place after 2 years of war.
I was very happy today to announce the first flight from Athens to Baghdad on the 16th of December of the Greek air carrier Aegean Airlines. I think this will substantially boost our people-to-people economic but also cultural ties. I'm very proud that Greece is going to be the first country to have a direct air flight to Baghdad from the European Union countries. Iraq is among Greece's most important trade partners. Today we reviewed the prospects, as the Minister just mentioned, for further advancing our economic cooperation, particularly in investments, energy, in the academia, in tourism, in agriculture, construction, and water management technology. Greece aspires to play an active role in the next day for Gaza, including through its contributions to the region's reconstruction and the provision of humanitarian aid to alleviate the humanitarian disaster in the region. We also touched upon the situation in Syria. I reiterated Greece's long-standing support for Syria's sovereignty and territorial integrity. I underlined that the Syrian transitional government must fulfill the commitments it has undertaken on inclusive government, in ensuring representation of all ethnic and religious communities, including Syria's Christians.
السلام في غزة.